Hello, all. Welcome back to Melanin Madam. Tonight we are having the famous homie join us, but he will be a little bit late. So until then, I did upload some video clips for tonight to go along with the topic. So look at God. When you listen to your intuition, you're planned, you're ready. I'm just saying. So tonight, if you are toasting, make sure you have your drink poured up. If you are smoking, make sure you have that rolled up. If you are cuddled up in bed, I envy you. So let's get started for tonight. The topic is actually on Blac Chyna. So it is on Blac Chyna, which it has been all this month, but with a little bit of a twist. So what I wrote was that it would be about Blac Chyna and the possible sins that we think that she needs to repent for. Okay. So with that being said, let me tell you something. First of all, if you know Madam and you know the brand, you know we don't judge people. So in talking about the sins we think she can repent for, what I'm actually going to be talking about is who she really is. So with women, let me just say, I want to toast to women, period. All of the things that we go through in an effort to make our families amazing. And specifically for Black women, I don't really know about other cultures. I'm Black. But what I can say is I do know it's the obvious. We're not going to go there. So what I can say for us that I don't know if proud is the word because it's kind of like strong in this space. Like we didn't ask to do this, but when we do it, we do it. What I can say is that when we look at women, specifically Black women, we are targeted as, oh, she got an attitude. Oh, she's like this. Oh, she's like that. But the reality is when you actually know somebody behind the scenes and actually get a chance to know them, it's amazing how they're the complete opposite, right? So I actually pulled up an interview that Blac Chyna did with Jason Lee, and it was recent. I'm not sure if she was Angela yet. I didn't look at the date, but what I can tell you is that I can relate. And I'm sure that you guys will be able to also. It's a little bit about what we talked about the other day. So let me show you the first clip so then we can get into it and talk about it because it's amazing how much we think people are a certain way. I'm telling you, I would have thought she was another way. However, if you notice each week, either the famous homie or I have said something like, dang, we noticed she don't really be in crowds. She don't really be in stuff. She's kind of to herself. If you actually pay attention to people, you'll see the real them. That's if you want to, and that's a judgment of your character. Maybe we should all take notes on the sins we need to repent for. Sometimes we don't know it's actually a part of a sin. So I want to start with the one about revenge with Rob, based on what he did to her. I want to know if anybody noticed this. So let's take a look. And if we get copyrighted and I got to pull all this stuff out, baby Jesus in heaven, let us pray. Amen. Here we go.
Was that love real or was it strategic or was it like you with the wrong? I got you. I got time today.
No, like
it was real.
It was real. Like one thing about me, I'm never like a revengeful like person. Like that's just not my character. I just like stuff happened to me. I just like look at it, wash my hands with it, pray about it, depending on the situation, and just forgive and forget and walk away.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how much I can relate. And if you know, you know. If you know, you especially know right now. Okay? Let me tell you, we are supposedly looked at as, oh, they have an attitude, oh, they're defensive, oh, they fight, oh, they do all of these things. We do them just like anybody else, but just like everything else, we do it better. So if you bite, you can't tell a tiger. I'm just saying, like, it happens, right? So very interesting thing is how many people noticed that through everything that Rob and the Kardashians did to her, she didn't fight back. She didn't fight back. She said the same thing that most of us say. It's almost like you reach a certain level of maturity. I will say that when you're younger, you fight with your hands, especially if you grew up in a certain neighborhood, a certain way, because it really wasn't another way. Ain't nobody finna sit there and get beat up. However, when you become older, you know better, you do better. Not just that you know better and do better as if you didn't know then. When you align yourself to be in different situations, you can react a different way, right? So she don't have to fight with her hands. She fought with her heart. She fought with, sometimes the fight is not a fight. How about that? Sometimes the fight is going against what somebody is used to. And if you a woman, you know that's how we get down. If, for me, if you come and try to fight me, as long as you don't put your hands on me, and you acting a fool, are you done? Because where I came from, if you want to fight, you gonna fight. Like, you're not gonna be standing this close to my face. It's impossible. So you already pulled your card and I can already read you. I already won. So if I already won and you jumping around like a gorilla, like, knock yourself out. That doesn't make any sense to me. So people actually don't notice that. So I want to say that that is one of the things that I would like to give her credit for. I am taking credit for, because people just don't believe you don't fight back. They go all the way to creating things, making things up. And even with that, you are vindicated because you know who you are. Sometimes a fight is, like she said, praying and letting it go. It really is just that easy once you reach a certain level of maturity. That's just it. What I will tell you is that this right here, I'm about to play, I bet you a lot of us can relate to that too. And what gets us in trouble, because we're trying to be Mother Earth, oh, Mother Hen, oh, trying to save everybody. And you trying to save somebody. And you know, I think it was a meme about it. Like, the person that was trying to go pull the person up from over the cliff or whatever, it was actually the person trying to pull them down. So that reflects, even if I'm dying, I'm still not willing to save myself with the person that's willing to help me, because whatever it is, the malicious, whatever it is in that person's heart that is so hardened, they would rather die, go without, lose out on opportunities, burn bridges, do all of these things to take you out, because they just don't like that they're not getting to you. They don't like what you have. They don't like what you bring to the table. And before I play this clip, I'll say this, because I make it very clear. My show is about being real. This show is therapy for me. This show is, Madam is the person that I probably would have been my whole life if I had the opportunity to be. But now I'm gifting myself to myself. When I'm not on camera, sometimes I lay in bed, depressed sometimes. I'm sad sometimes. I cry a lot. I cry a lot these days. The more you open up, and we talked about this before, you have different emotions. And then, just like, it's just so easy to switch the switch off. Like, if somebody calls and I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's this person. It makes me happy. Especially my mom, Hilda, all my cousins. I'm grateful that we're established in amazing relationships. My friends, my sorors, the men in my life. I mean, it's just a different feeling. What I could tell you is that we are so layered that even sometimes in the midst of committing a sin, we're human. We have the right. Let me tell you, that's the saying, God knows my heart. Not when you sit there and do something evil and then you're like, God knows my heart. He knows I was going to do something evil. No, it's for things like, you know, you stepping in the way. I'm going to play it and then I'm going to tell you a little something that I learned. Watch.
If you've been doing something for so many years, it's like maybe you just want to take a break from it. You know what I mean? Like you said, even for yourself, like if you go out, it's like, it's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of this and that. You're not sure how people are going to come at you and how they're going to judge you and how they're going to talk about you and this and that. And you, like you said, like put on a persona and all this and all that. But
so that's the first part of it. A lot of things that we do, I just open myself up, right? That's being vulnerable. I don't know what's going to happen in the comments. I don't know what this video is going to look like a year from now. I don't know who's going to take it and try to throw it back in my face. But one thing I can tell you, baby, write this clip. Take this clip. I'm a pause so you can cut it. And it's cute. Okay, right here. My mama always taught me, ain't nobody finna hold me hostage. So if I get on here and I cry about everything that's going on, that's me being real and me being vulnerable. There's nothing you can use against me that would make me ashamed. It's nothing, because I am human just like everybody else. I make mistakes. And what I will say is, baby girl don't make a lot of mistakes that she didn't intend to make these days. Mostly because I don't really go outside. It's not a big flex. But I do think about what I do, and I'm going to start taking credit for what I do. So listen, it be the judgment for me. It do. It be the judgment. Somebody can be so loud, and I recently experienced this. They can be so loud when they think that they about to take you out, like, oh, I know you did this. And you know that behind the scenes, it was probably 13 conversations, all of these things that happen, because when it get to you, that chest be roaring. It be ready, right? And then you come back with the 1-2 punch, like, I don't do things like that. Never have. But just so you know, you might want to just, it be the vindication for me. You're not about to give me no damn stroke. You're not about to give me no stroke, because when you know who you are, you know who you are. So us being anybody, you should get to the point where if you are anxious about certain things, and I get it in this climate, that the way that you reel yourself back in is that you remember who you are. You remember that you are human. You remember, hopefully, if you do things from a good place, that even if it turns out wrong, you can say, this was my thought process when I was doing it, and I really did try my best. If it didn't, turn out that way, or if I could have done something differently, what's the solution, right? Because at the end of the day, if you did something from a good place, and that's what truly was in your heart, then the feedback is something that you want. That way you can get better, because nobody wants to waste their time doing things that don't work, right? But here's what ends up happening, right? This is what ends up happening. Watch.
So say if somebody calls me, because a lot of people call me and ask me for like advice, and I always try to like give my all and like pour into that person, you know what I mean? And it's like at the very end of the day, that other person or the other end has to be willing to like take that advice and not just say something from like emotions or just certain things like that. Even, we've talked, and like anybody that's around me, and I always try to be like mother hen and try to help everybody and try to save everybody. And that's like something else that I have been working on. Yeah.
I can see that.
But that's I do that a lot. I'm like, I gotta chill.
But that's what I was asking. That's what I was asking. Like, do you feel like you were trying to rescue him?
No, not at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's just vibing.
So let me tell you, I think that certain people, we attract certain people, right? The laws of attraction. I believe that because God knows, some of us are more Mother Earth, more compassionate, more I've been through it, so I don't want anybody else to go through it. Different things like that. I think that attributes to the type of people that we attract. Is it a bad thing? I don't think it is. Here's how I don't think it is, but she called out a really good thing. You can pour out your best in the best way that you can, and it could be the best advice ever. You can literally be telling them, and they looking at the brick wall, but their pride sometimes, write a note, it's in the Bible. Their pride sometimes, their ego, the anger that they have, the jealousy they developed, whatever it is. And you can think of a time, I'm sure, where you were there at some point, whether you acted on it or not, you at least thought about it, so you understand where it comes from. They won't do it. They won't do it. And then you're the very person that they will either blame, call back, take it out on. You become a punching bag, right? That is true. And that is where you need to learn where to draw the line, because there's a certain thing called getting in God's way, right? I believe that certain people are put together to help heal and break generational curses. I believe that there are certain people that are just natural problem solvers. So they get all of these things thrown at them. And as soon as you realize it's your cross to bear, it turns from woe is me, why is this always happening, to I get it. I get it. That's my assignment. I get it. And if you read the Bible, you have to get what all of it means, not just the parts that you want, because we all have a role, right? everybody really looks at Blac Chyna, and he actually mentioned it in the interview. Hopefully you listen to it all. I'll go back and clip it in. He even looked at her before like, oh, just the model. Oh, I bet you she got with Rob to get Tyga back. Nobody really realized it was 4 years in between. Nobody really realized, and stick a pin right here, he was dating a minor. Nobody realized any of that. However, okay, she just happened to fall in love with him, and everybody thought that she went after him. He went after her. It's amazing how much she allowed to happen in her name. She says she didn't see a lot of it. Here's why I could believe that. Through the last several years, a lot of things that I have been through caused me to have tunnel vision, and cut everything off. When you want to reach a certain level of maturity, a glow up, anything like that, you truly do have to cut those things off. No social media, no paying attention to certain things, no being around people that trigger you. Even if you love them with all your heart, no being around them, because that's the time that you really need to listen to God, work on how you're going to get through things, because we all have triggers of trauma. You have to work that out, because what we don't want to keep doing is saying that we're getting better. And in the interim, what we're really doing is just, it's just another sin. And we have the famous homie joining us. We just add another sin to it, right? In the bigger scheme of things and trying to get better, what you should be trying to do is knock those things down that you do that you shouldn't have done, right? She called out one of the sins that she did, and it was right here. And so I'll have the famous homie come in after we play this clip. Then he can go ahead and we can start the conversation with that. But let's see. I think it is this one.
When people used to say Angela Kardashian, did you get mad at that?
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
Because I wasn't married. It's Angela White.
Right.
Right.
Let me tell you what that meant to me. Okay? Because this is what we've been talking about. Let me tell you. She don't give a damn about that name. She know who she is, what role she in, and not every woman is running behind a man trying to get married. I know that's the narrative, because supposedly is one man to 32 women, which is why men could cheat so well, and you'll see the woman not move on. We have discipline to begin with, but they have a million fifis coming at them, and they generally don't have any discipline. But she didn't like it. Her own name was just fine. I am who I am. When I get married, I'll take on that name. But she identified later, the most beautiful thing that came out of it was her daughter. She said that daughter was made in love. So even through a sin, you can have amazing things come out of it. But I love that she pointed out the fact, no, I'm good. That's the part for me, Hilda. People thought she had no morals. I need people to stop thinking shit because you don't see a person do something. Or here's the best part. When things are so loud, pay attention to where it's loud. Nobody noticed this girl wasn't posting nothing. How is that?
The clip did not play for me, so I was trying to see what they said.
Oh no. Okay, so what Jason Lee was asking Blac Chyna was, when you were addressed as Chyna Kardashian, did you like it? And she said no. And he said, why? She said, because I'm not married. My name is Angela White.
Right.
With a hunt with it.
Right.
I know who I am. I'm not claiming wifey, none of that. I am who I am. When you get that title, you'll get that title. But until you get that title, we are right here.
Right. Exactly.
I need people to understand that. It's still morals. You can still have morals in the midst of committing a sin. Not everybody's just acting a damn fool.
So they were expecting her to say yes, that she likes that or she's comfortable with that. Was that what they were expecting?
Oh my gosh, I get to be a Kardashian.
Like, is that a consolation prize? Is that something that you just, oh my God, I'm a Kardashian? Like,
First question was, what did Kim say the first time you talked to her? Who was Kim?
right. You see how they do that?
Kim is her with a different mama.
You see how they do that, but that's strategic though. Those type of questioning is strategic. It's placement. It's okay. I gotta feel lucky. I'm a celebrity too. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there too. I'm doing my thing too. Why do I gotta feel privileged or feel like, oh, you were next to the great Kim? What did you say? What? What'd she say to you? Why does that matter? Would you ask me? Would it Johnny say to me, or like why does it? Why is that even?
Nobody else, not the mama, not nobody. Because a better question. So Jason Lee, the whole vibe that I got from the interview was he was vindicating her. In every question that he asked it because she had a morally correct answer. She had a grown woman answer. She had all of that. And that was his like chop for everything, because watch this next clip and then we'll finish out the rest. I hope it plays for you, because this is the one that took me out. I actually was done. And then I saw this and I was like, baby, listen, if this ain't the one right here, this is real stuff. Not that one. Let's see. It didn't load. It didn't load because of this phone. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to take myself out for a minute. You guys hold on. Okay, y'all, I am back in. Let me see if it loaded. Damn it, it didn't. Okay, so in this particular clip that I wish would have shown, it was her being asked when she was in court, how did she feel? And he said that I noticed that the whole time that you were in court, everything was going on. Rob was releasing your pictures and steady coming for you. You never claimed to be a victim. You never retaliated. You never posted anything. You never did an interview. You never did anything. You didn't call and cuss him out. You didn't do anything. And her answer was, I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted them to leave me alone. And he said, well, how did you feel being in court with them there sitting in the front row? And she said, oh, I had him in the second row, but I felt like nothing. And he like, do you know who you went up against? She was like, yes. Everybody else is so scared. Why? She said, I don't know. Because that's the real answer. He was like, so did you have a gun with you? Did you do this? Did you do that? She was like, no. Here's the thing. Then he ended it with, I could tell you just wanted to be vindicated, respected, and all of those things. Do you feel like you were? Because here's the thing. Black social media is different and Black Twitter is different for women. If anybody else would have released those pictures like he did to get you back for something you really didn't do, like Me Too, everything would have went crazy. But they didn't for you. How do you feel about that? Do you feel protected? And she was like, no, I don't. And he was like, do you feel like it's because it's the Kardashians? She said, no, I feel like it's just because certain people, it doesn't apply to being protected. We're never protected.
Facts.
I said, baby, listen, we go in knowing that you're against other people. I have been in a situation where it's everybody else and it's just me 10 toes down. I don't call my sisters. I don't call Hilda. I don't call my mama. I don't call nobody. I pull up by myself. I know what I'm going. I don't care. Because here, when you know that you're not wrong, is this certain strength that you get or this certain power that you really you just stand in what you believe. And it's like, however it ends up is however it ends up. But you know for sure it's something in you that knows you're gonna be okay. But in all of that, my question is, if you did flip out and go upside somebody's head, would you be wrong?
Hell no. I mean, maybe to the public eye, but you know, to the real nigga eye, no. You're not gonna be wrong. Like, people want to sit up here and to me, this showed her class and her strength. Like, she don't get enough credit for that. You know, she could have easily went a different way. Because I'm listening to this shit like, how would I have responded? And I don't think I would have held my composure like that. Like, she really held her composure and gave classy answers. And, you know, if she would have hauled off and slapped the shit out of him, I think she would have been well within her right. Sure.
He even mentioned that every day that you showed up to court, you showed up dressed from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, and you walked in like, I'm here. And she was like, well, you know, when you step out, you got to step out sexy. I don't step out that often. So since you pulled me out, I'm a big do it.
There you go.
Every time I go out, I big do it. Period.
Mm-hmm.
But what's not fair is that's what we get called strong for. We're on a whole ass battlefield, usually by ourselves, because we're trying to prove a point. We're trying to make you stop and let you know, if I'm like this by myself, you don't think the others around me are like this. So if I brought even just one more with me, you do understand my people love me like your people love you. But if my people pull up, if I'm pulling up by myself, wouldn't the logic be that if my people pulled up with me, I'd tear this whole block up?
Right. They'd be trying to call the police.
I just can't make it make sense. In all of this, you trying to do the right thing, but what is right when you're the one being attacked? You have all this pressure on you because you've been out with me, Ron, when I'd be like, I need to make sure this is right, that's right. You don't want to step out halfway because it's a social media climate. You don't want people recording you. You look bad according to them. You really try to watch the things that you say, because your plot isn't to hurt somebody. Because if I'm trying to hurt somebody, I'm not going to do it in a roundabout way. I'm going to do it directly. So it's almost like don't, that's where the insult for me comes. Don't insult me like that. I never did no punk shit. I don't throw rocks and hide my hands. I don't do none of that. So if I'm accused of any of those things and you think that's where the insult comes for me.
Right.
Then I probably, but in all of that, you still don't lose your morals or values, but you don't get, how many Black women don't get enough credit? Because there are so many also that don't do the right thing. And it's like the loudest thing always gets the most attention versus paying attention to who's actually doing the right thing. And that's what should be put on a platform.
Yes, it should be focused on. That should be focused on. But you already know, man. You already know. You know what I'm saying? The most disrespected, the most disregarded, the most underserved human being in America is
the Black woman.
The Black woman. Correct. So sadly, as we say this, you know what I mean? And then you guys are supposed to have this strength, which you guys are strong, but that doesn't apply to every single situation. You don't want to hear that shit.
Because we're not strong. We want to be soft too. You know, we are compared often to Caucasian women or Latina women. We are not them. We do not have the same thing. We do not get the same things. We're fighting right alongside of you, plus we're fighting you, and we have to be strong. How many, if you're thinking off the top of your head, how many people do we know that gave birth and got to be pampered at home, didn't have to worry about going back to work? They just got to bask in being a mom, even from the man that they was with. They just got to bask in being a mom. They got a push gift. When they came home, it was let me take the baby so you can rest. I know you was tired your whole last 2 months, plus you just went through labor. Let me do that.
Right. Well, not very often we can say that.
And not that it was their girlfriend or their sister or no, I mean the man that had a baby with him.
Yeah.
Did that.
Right. It's not very often. I never seen it, personally, just due to the circumstances in the life we live in, with as I was a father of mine, I would do that shit to the best of my.
Absolutely, you did. You're an amazing single father.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, come home, take the baby, let her sleep, stuff like that. But in the mass of us, it's unheard of. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are forced to give birth, deliver, go home, still get up and clean up and cook and try to fulfill
and have sex before 6 weeks is up.
Sexual needs and okay, you're sewed up down there. So what's wrong with what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with your mouth? Like, dudes be saying that type of shit. So you're forced to
adjust to our reality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if it's sink or swim, we've never been taught to sink.
Right.
We've never been taught to sink. Because what I will say is that there's an opposite to everything. And the strongest one that I could think of, because everything that happened in slavery is still somehow in us, because I need people to realize slavery is not over. Because if you think that those Caucasian people, just because you started saying we can't treat them like slaves like this, you mean to tell me you really think their mentality went away? If we could still feel the effects of how it hurt, you don't think they could still feel it of how to do it, which is why they're in the positions to take over and do it, and they do. It shows in pay. Just something, it's right in our face. It's right there. But what I will say is that when they were splitting up the Black home, right?
Mm-hmm.
They took the man to the middle. They did these things, and then they killed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's done, right? Now he's in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still right here with my kids, though.
Right.
I'm still here. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have the fear of what will happen and leaving. I have the fear of what will happen because I have to stay.
Right.
So not only am I getting beat in the field, I am being raped. I am being forced to have children. The white woman is mad at me. She's doing things.
And you're nurturing.
I'm being passed around.
You're nurturing everyone's children, including children that are not your own. Their children. Mm-hmm. Everybody's. Mm-hmm.
But I'm watching mine suffer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Damn.
It's a cold feeling when you think about all of the things that we still go through today. And all we ask for is for the same place that I'm sure most people will watch this video because they want to judge Blac Chyna, and they're going to open it and see, I'm actually not judging her at all. If you paid attention to any of the other videos, no, I wouldn't. And even if I did call out her sins, it would be the same as mine. Premarital sex, anger. She didn't steal nothing. No jealousy. No covenant of somebody's marriage. She got one.
Yep. That's it. Everything
else, she's a good person.
Right.
So how does that work? I probably got at least 3. And we was called lazy. I want to point that out, and we'll get into that a little more on the Tuesday call. So if you can join, that would be great, because I want to have some men join that are good men, because a good man and a good woman can praise another man and know that there are men that don't exist like that. So let me thank you so much for being like that, and you will be honest, and vice versa. So I like that versatile conversation. But that is a big piece of it. She wasn't, her life that we didn't get to see, that he also called out, was that she's very nurturing. She's very mother. The way that her and Tyga split up is that one day he just came home and said, you need to get out of my house.
Yeah.
She had a son with him that was 4 years old. She moved from DC out here to be with him.
Damn.
And he meant right then.
Like now.
She had to pack. She had to pack up her stuff and leave with her son. And he asked, well, what did you do? Did you go crazy? Did you think I just relocated? I changed my whole life. I gave up everything. I did this. I did that. And I'm a good mom. She said, I didn't have time to think about that. I needed to think about what was next for me and my son because I needed to make moves without him feeling them.
Right. Right. Damn.
I said, baby, listen, if shower walls could talk, I bet you more women cry in the shower, at stop signs, and when they go to the bathroom at work.
Right. Right.
Because we don't get to be, if we're weak, that's considered weak to us because we're taught that, right? When we cry is, why are you being so sensitive? When somebody else cries, oh my God, what's wrong?
Are you okay? Can I get you something? Damn, that's crazy when you say that out loud. Like, that's super wild. And to hear these stories, like not only, you know, her getting thrown out, you know, a lot of these news rappers, you know, done this to these different girls, you know, the baby and 𝐷𝒍𝖎, you know, getting thrown out how she did out the house and went publicly. And like, I don't see, like, I understand people have arguments or disagreements, but I couldn't imagine throwing, you know, even mine, you know, at the time, you know, throwing her and my baby out, like, get out, get the fuck out of my shit, get out, go figure it out. What?
And she said she really didn't know why. Like, they didn't even have any big arguments, anything that would be an indication that I need to prepare myself. So, you know, me hearing that was like, and what's sad is that when I'm going through things, my hope is, I hope nobody else has to go through this. I hope nobody else has to feel this. And then the more that I listen to social media and different things like that, I watch YouTube the most because it's real people. You hear people, so you already don't feel beautiful with certain, it's just reasons why you don't. And then to look at somebody that's like at the top according to the standards and they get treated the same way, then you really feel like it's no hope for me. It can't possibly be. If it happened to me and it happened to her, I'm more concerned that it happened to her.
Right.
That's where our psyche goes. So we are fighting all of these mental battles and still saying, I pray, I pray, I pray. But in being vulnerable, I'll say today, I ask God, why am I praying? Because I don't think you're listening to me. It's impossible. Because you're telling me what to do, and I'm doing it. And it's those things we talked about that are uncomfortable. It's easy to be nice to somebody when it's easy. It's very hard when it's not somebody that treats you right or does these things, but your love sometimes will trump it and you'll do it. But when does that happen for me?
Right.
When do I get a break? When do I get to be soft? When do I get to get out of survival mode?
Right. Does it exist?
I don't.
Is there such thing as reciprocity? Like, is it in that type of setting, in a relationship, marriage, for a Black woman? Is there reciprocity for a Black woman?
I'm beginning to think no. And that's honestly why I have all these topics for Queen TT. You know, that's my YouTube channel that I do for my nonprofit. I took a year off of mentoring hands-on, except for my adult girls, because I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. And right now in my life, I can't see it. I'm just being honest. I am successful in the way that I didn't think that I would be. And it's very sad because it's minimal. But as a Black woman, you're like, oh my gosh, this happened. I just think it's horrible how grateful we have to be for
bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be grateful for this fourth of a quarter of a glass of juice. You better be grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
You better be grateful. Like, that's crazy. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sickening and it's sad because you know, as a man and looking as a man, you know, we have mothers, we have
Right.
sisters, we have cousins, we have daughters. And if you don't think about it like that, you don't really see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you a wife or a baby mama or girlfriend, whatever it is, you need to think about it as if it was your someone that's really, really, really dear to you, such as your mother or your
Right.
daughter or your
Right.
sister, somebody like that. Like, how do you not feel for that when you have Black women who go through those very same things? Like, how do you
Mhm.
not have that in your head or in your conscious? It's just mind boggling.
I think it's crazy. Hilda, I agree. I think it's really sad. We talk a lot about if I will say that in my family, I've not seen a male treat a female inappropriate. I haven't. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I know what I've seen. So in my life, all of the men around me, I think they're amazing. And so I am protective, but I'm grateful of the women that they get because they get to have a beautiful life. But again, what about me?
Right.
I,
Where's mine?
where's mine? Because I see and I don't understand how you can be protective over, like you said, your mother or your sister or things like that, but not of your woman. So when you do things like that, do you think about how it impacts the other women in your life to think, oh, I'm only going to be treated like this by the men in my family, but not the man I get?
Right. Right.
Do you think about that? Because they hear the conversations you're having. They see the way you treat your baby mama. They see the way that you treat your wife. So you're still causing that impact if you're not treating the women in your life right. Because the one you chose to marry, the one you chose to have a baby with, those are people you picked.
Right.
So what do you think that that girl in your family feels like? When does it stop? When does a woman, and so many of us, we pray and we want to live that life that's the white picket fence, that's the we go to church on Sunday, that's the I don't have to fight or flight. So all of these things that make me a bad person, I wouldn't have to do them. Um, I think it's sad that it's not a reality for us, and we're trained to be prepared to fight for a Black man, but we're not taught what it should look like because they are fighting for us.
Right.
Yeah. We're taught to pity them and protect them and make sure they're okay. I thought the man was the protector and the provider.
Right. So
And
if a woman is stretching herself out that
Mhm.
much, it's like, you ever heard of the term, where's the therapist for the therapist? So like
That part,
it relates directly to that. Like if the woman is doing all that and taking care of everybody else, who's taking care of her?
her
Right.
homegirl.
Right. And it doesn't feel the same. It's more of a
Thank you.
we could relate to it in, trauma bonding type things. They're probably going through the same shit at home. So it's more of a trauma bond. It's more of a we all going through this shit, girl. Let's come over here
That's
and
not hope.
yeah, exactly. And you're just suppressing the feeling, the hurt, because often, you get together, you drink and, whatever, smoke, you
You
kick it
take
in.
turns crying.
Yeah, you take turns crying, and all you're doing is putting a band-aid over the problem. You're suppressing it temporarily, but when you go, like you said, when everybody go back to their rooms and say y'all in the Airbnb with 5 rooms, everybody go back to their rooms and shut that door, it's waterworks. It's crying. It's you become vulnerable to yourself. Like it's super crying. Like you cry in front of your girlfriends, but then you guys have the mixed emotions because you're crying, you're laughing, you're doing all this stuff. But when you get by yourself in those 4 walls and nobody's around, you know what I'm saying? It's just temporary suppressing the problem.
Yes, that. Can you read that? Because I
Yeah.
cannot. I have. Yeah.
And that's a bad cycle that we continue to. It's to the point we feel bad if we don't do it. Big facts.
It's very bad. We're made to feel bad. You're made to feel like if you don't hold on because they went through this and they went through that, um, we're told that we're not good women.
and you have to stand on that. Like that has to do something to your psyche, like constantly being told that you're not good because if you don't do that, like that's
But
why I
my
don't.
question is, with let's see. Sorry to say, but sometimes most that's not who you are supposed to be with. But here's my problem. If you are, most women are getting married a lot later, and men are getting married a lot later. You've been through so many relationships by then,
Right.
and they don't just end because, oh, we're not compatible. You end because it's a red flag. You end because, something happened that made you walk away. Most divorces are filed by women, but that doesn't mean that they want it. I have never talked to a woman that filed for divorce that says she wanted to, but I have seen plenty of men do it and they already have somebody else. So they don't feel anything because there is no void for them. Meanwhile, the woman is looking around like, this was supposed to be my forever. I didn't have a heart contingency plan in my head. I thought I was going to go through for better or for worse, and you put me through worse, and you did better. You moved on and did what you wanted to do.
Being forced into submission. It's like being forced into submission. Somebody have you in a headlock and you're forced. Like you said, when woman gets a divorce, 9 times out of 10, she don't want to. Is she trying to save her life? She's trying not to die or kill somebody, you know what I'm saying, off of being hurt so badly. You're forced to do it. It's like, damn, I don't want to do this, but I got to. I can't keep taking this shit.
Right.
That's
and
crazy.
What I can relate to as well with Blac Chyna, and I'm sure a lot of women can, now Black women are the highest graduates, the highest in pay, and not from corporate. That means you opened your own business and things like that. We didn't have seats, so we created them. We're not with you for your money.
Most aren't. Like a lot. I think Black women get an unfair rap with that. You know, it's the few out there that's out there chasing, and they think that. I think they project that on the whole, culture. But I don't think that's the case. Like most Black women, if they like you, if they love you, if they fuck with you, they don't really care what you got like that. They want to help you get it if you ain't got it already. Like I know if you got a dream or your goals and you're not lazy and you out there doing shit, a Black woman probably gonna take you up. Like more than likely, she gonna take you up. She gonna take your brand up. She gonna help your shit grow. Like especially if she love you. Like a Black woman will give you the shirt off her back, literally.
And give you some time to go through it. If you make top ramen, she gonna be like, girl, I gotta go. My man making dinner. What is he making? Noodles. I love the way he put hot sauce in it. Because we appreciate you where you are. We uplift you and praise you where you are. And we're also going to tell you, I see more in you, nigga. You tripping.
Right.
That's love. I don't need you to do it for me. I got it. I want you to do it for you. I want you to do it so we see things in you that you don't see.
Right.
There is no better connection than between a man and a woman that's meant for each other. It's not. And here's the thing. We've been through so many relationships. By the time we get married, if you get married, or by the time you get to the person you want to be, with forever, I bet you if you tapped each one of those men, they could tell you where that woman did something in their life and you knew that that was genuine from their heart. And I know that because I called a couple of mine. I got them recorded saying, you was my favorite girlfriend, or thank you, and we don't take credit. No, we don't take credit for it. We was taught not to do that. No, ma'am. What goes on in your house goes on in your damn house. You don't tell what you're doing because you don't want the outside world to look at your man as weak, which is interesting because most women are, it's okay. No, you don't. You don't say anything.
Yeah, you save us from judgment. I mean, it's more of the man. Like 9 times out of 10, you don't want people to really, really know that like that. Like a lot of men don't. It's a pride thing. Like I don't want them to know that I got home because of my wife or my girl. You know what I mean? I want to be able to say that I got my own. I think it's a beautiful thing sometimes, especially when you know what I'm saying, when you're able to go through that get you a woman that can elevate you. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means like, I mean, I know everybody don't believe in the Bible or whatever. I'll take some certain things out there. I know that says a man find a wife is a good thing, and I think that has so many different meanings to it. It's a good thing because your wife, your black man, you go find your wife. You know what I'm saying? She's most definitely going to take you up in all ways. Like, you find the one that you're supposed to be with, it ain't gonna do nothing but take you up 9 times out of 10.
I have watched it happen. I could tell you that in my marriage for 13 years, I was in HR. I didn't want to be in it after year 2. I hated it, but I knew that I needed to do what I had to do to stay in corporate and all of these things through getting my degrees. I tried every job on this planet. I tried the one I'm at from the time I graduated. Got married. As soon as I got married, one day I looked at my vows again because his was more over us and what he had planned for us and what was going to happen for us. Everything that he wrote, from the glow up to everything that he wrote, came true within the first 2 years of marriage. I am now at the company that I've been trying to get to for all of these years and gave up on applying, and my interview went like that. Totally different role, being paid double.
2 years.
Within 2 years. But right away, things started happening. Right away. I had my nonprofit. I became a Delta. All these things happened. And still I have seen somebody be married to their high school sweetheart. She went in one direction to college and everything. He went in his. He still finished, but did some other things. She still loved him like it wasn't nothing. She bought her first house. Then they got married. He moved into that house. This is our house. Then they got a bigger house. In between there, she bought him a car. She funded his dream. She did all of these things. And in all of that, when he doesn't see it, you can't show him over and over and say he doesn't get it. I don't know. It depends. I think I'm getting to that. So in this particular situation, she did all of those things. I mean, can you imagine for your birthday, a sports car just pull up and it's like, this is the car you always said you wanted. Here you go. Well, what's my payment? Payments? I pay cash for that.
Here go to pink slip, baby.
Here go to pink slip. Here go to pink slip. Well, they are now divorced.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't know you were going to say that.
They are now divorced.
Don't tell me he got up and got on and said, fuck this shit.
Couple years later, he come back, she come back. Yeah, that world out there is crazy. We're not doing that. And you come back together. But it's not the same as it was before because of the extent you went to and the things that you did. When you got a paper, it's not that it's that paper, it's everything you wrote and everything you said. And so you holding on to that and you blocking everything else out. Like Blac Chyna said, I'm here. I can't hear all that other stuff that's going on because if I focus on that other stuff, I'm going to lose my way. When Jesus parted the Red Sea, I'm just saying, you have to focus. You cannot hear anything else. Sometimes you got to suppress some shit. You got to do whatever you need to do because the goal is to get to the other side. Everybody does it. People be like, can she see that? She can see it perfectly clear. Don't remind her, leave her alone. Just like you wanted people to leave you alone. But that's just the way that it goes. But once you cut that tie and now you made me have to pull everything up, heal and deal with it, I can't put it back because you made me pull it up. I already put it away. As soon as it happened, I have to put it away. Nope, I forgive you. I want to work it out. I'm not going to focus on that. Let's focus on why this happened and move forward type of thing. But to Mom's point, when you do that over and over, the thing is, why am I doing this over and over? Why do you hate me? Why are you mad at me? What did I do to you? That thing is, yeah, it's never the same. If you end it and you cut it, it's never the same, which is why most women don't want to file for divorce. They'll separate for a while and be like, you know what, just go do what you need to do and come back, not even telling everybody else. Or they have that in their head, like, just do whatever you need to do. I'm gonna be over here taking care of business, because when you come back, you know, I want to be able to pick up where I left off. So I need some good shit to have happen in the middle. I'm gonna just take this time to do whatever you do. Yeah, that hurt. It changes the mind and the heart. It kills it, actually.
And it's crazy how, you know, we're given that space to do that in those situations. Like a woman, she'll, like you said, she'll separate and be like, okay, go figure yourself out real quick. You know what I'm saying? And don't even be tripping. Like, you know, be ready for you to come back strong. Like, you're giving that space to do that. That's crazy. Like, damn.
Because in your head, you're thinking, and I even did it in high school. In your head, you're thinking, if this is the thing, that's the problem. But everything else I love, if I give you the opportunity to go do this thing, or not really give you, if I just turn a blind eye, whatever it is you need to do, because you're not really, you don't accept it. You just realize that I can do this or I could do this. I could let this happen or I could walk away. Those are your choices. You're thinking when they come back, not only are they going to love you like they did when they chose you, they're going to love you even more, because now that thing is out of the way and you showed them that through that, you didn't do all of these things. And I have seen where that has happened. I have seen where somebody has had a baby on somebody, divorced them, they left, came back like, I was tripping. I can't imagine giving that to some other woman. All this, everything you did for me, the love you have for me, the love I have for you, I had to sit down and remember, and came back, and they're one of my favorite couples. So it can happen, but you got to not have pride. But it kills me how the man has the most pride when you're the one who is it really pride, or is it embarrassment?
Both.
Because those things are in the Bible, since we're talking about the Bible.
Both. There's pride, and there's definitely being humiliated, or, you know, embarrassed, or, you know, it's both. I think they kind of can work side by side. You know, your pride don't want you to be embarrassed, and sometimes it's a little bit of both. You know, and those are two very strong things, stronghold things. Things can keep you in a stronghold.
It's a stronghold, it's generational curse, and it's who you surround yourself with, I think. Because if you surround yourself with the right people, they're telling you the whole time, because this person that did fix it, the parents, the sister, the family was like, we're not accepting this. We're not accepting this because you're better than this. We're not accepting this because we know that you love this person. You made this mistake, but this person is still there. If that's what you really want, then go for it. They put their pride aside for you. So how can you not put your pride aside to go back and say, I messed up, and believe that because that person is still there, they love you. They don't want revenge. They want glory. They want it to be over. They want it to be where they could say, yep, we went through this, but look, we made it. They want that.
Right.
But if you don't have it around you, you have the opposite around you. I believe that, oh, definitely. But where does the ego come in? It is ego, but how does the ego come in?
I think it doesn't come in. I think it's already there, but it's some men are able to keep it in check, and some men, they don't. You know what I mean? I think it's already. I think every man has ego. It's our jobs to keep that shit in check. You know what I mean? I think we.
Why does it come out more when a mistake is made? It's like when you at the beginning of the relationship, when everything is good, until they're seen in a different light than they want to be seen. It's softer. You get to know them better and all of that. As soon as they mess up, it's like they go into an alter ego and become a different person than the person you knew the whole time.
Because it's a way to kind of stave off accountability. You know what I mean? It's think about when a man does something wrong, or when there's some bullshit that happened. It's a defense mechanism. Your ego, like, that's what you do for a defense mechanism. So which is stupid as hell, but you know, that's what it is.
So they rather miss out on life, love, being happy, not having a heart attack. That's why a lot of men have damn heart attacks. You rather miss being in the comfort, love, peace, being blessed. God don't bless no mess. So these people that think that they're blessed and they're doing things that they know ain't right, you know that that's not a blessing. Because if it was a blessing, it would look different, and you know that.
Oh, it is. It's just not from the creator. You feel me? Like when what's his name, Moses was you know, in what was his name, Ramses, when that example of, you know, okay, look, God did this, you know, his counterpart, the devil, will come and do that same thing. So that's where he's able to trick us, because he's able to do some of those tricks or give some of those same blessings out. And people think, oh, God, I gotta thank God. I think you're thanking the wrong person. You better go ahead and thank his opposite. Go ahead and thank the devil, because he done blessed you with that shit.
I think you know, and I think you know deep in your heart that that's not from God, because when I'll end with this will be my ending, and then because that's a great example and it's very true. When God blesses you with something, it's usually a blessing to somebody else. It feels good. Mm-hmm. It's just this thing that comes over you that you can be so happy sometimes that you'll just cry, like, wow, this happened. When the devil blesses you with something, you're busy, because it's a distraction. You busy, your ego kick in. I told you I could do this. Those type of things come up, and in some regard, you're not as happy about it. You're not proud. Your pride kicks in and your ego, but you're not. It's different. It's not that, like when you have a baby with somebody you really love, right?
Right.
Like that for men. And you're just so happy, versus when you have one with somebody you don't really care for, like, oh, damn, I got to go in here and see her, or damn, I got to see him, but I really love my baby. You want the baby,
right? Because
the baby is a blessing, but everything around it is wrong. I'll leave with that. Start paying attention, because it's just too much life passing by really, really fast. A lot of people are being hurt that they don't deserve to be hurt, and you know that they don't. So stop letting the devil distract you and keep you from doing the things you need to do and hurting people in the interim, because there is no good side to it. It's not. And the people involved, it's not fair that somebody loves you that much and you have no problem, or pretend like you don't, just totally breaking their soul. It ain't right.
It's not.
So I'll end with that.
It's not. It's definitely not right. It's definitely not right. I think just overall, a lot of people have men have problems with the accountability thing. I say to you men out there, and I'm talking to myself as well. Every day, hopefully you wash your ass every day. When you got to go into the bathroom, get naked, take off your clothes, and look into that mirror. You can't lie to yourself. You can't escape yourself. You can't escape your own demons. You got to learn to look yourself in the eye and really, 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 really think, is this right? You got to face yourself at some point. And I think, you know, a lot of people when they get older, a lot of men when they get older, in your older age, when you start thinking about death and all this other stuff, because everybody think about that shit as they get older, you know, at that point, it feels like it's too late. So don't let it get to that point where it's too late, where you want to go to apologizing to everybody and I'm sorry for what I would have put you through at 70 years old, 75 years old. You don't want to let time pass, because at that point, it really don't mean nothing. You apologizing at 70, 75, 80 years old, don't nobody really want to hear that shit.
Because they know it's selfish.
Yeah, it's selfish. It's only for yourself, because you feel like you're about to die and you want to cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure you get yourself ready for the creator. No, let's start now. We all human beings. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. But just hold yourself accountable. Look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I can make the decision to do better. Make the choice to do better. We all have choices. Make the right choice.
So that is it from us. If you joined to hear all of the things Blac Chyna did wrong, well, surprise. I wanted to show you all the things she did right and she's not getting credit for. And I think, again, I've said it the other shows, she deserves a standing ovation because this girl was good before she was good. And a lot of people didn't even know that because she was quiet in the corner. And I can relate, child. I'm in the corner of the couch now. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you absolutely follow. I'll let the famous homie do his own outro, but make sure you follow Poetic Ghost Production. We have things coming up, and we actually have an event coming up next week, and it's a flyer coming out so you guys can come and join. That is it from, oh, I'm going to start being outside. Something about y'all want to see me. I don't know. I'm going to start being outside. So that's it from me.
Yeah, like she said, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, YouTube, and on Instagram. Make sure you come follow me on Instagram, all platforms at the famous homie. Watch out for Poetic Ghost Productions. Watch out for, we got a TV series coming out, you know, reality shows and everything. Y'all just stay tuned. Y'all stay tuned for what we about to do. We about to start doing some crazy shit, man.
Yes, sir. So that is it from us, and have an amazing night. Night.